Alright, so what's going on, guys? Back here with another video. So, just recently on Thursday, the Fall Backlog Challenge came to an end. The two final contestants were Also Jiggly, aka SEGA, because it's two guys that are running that channel, and versing Tylord Stevenson, Steve. So, Steve came out at the very last second and finished all of his games in time, and he ended up getting into the wheel decide versus Jiggly, and he won. So his prize, I had messaged both of them a few days earlier, and I was like, look, you guys are the only ones that finished. What are the prizes that you're gonna want? Jiggly wanted a specific couple of things. Steve just wanted me to do a winter backlog challenge, because I was not planning on doing another one, because not really. I think the first time it was three or four people that joined, and then this time it was 6, so definitely more. So depending on how many people join this one will depend if I do a spring one and keep going. I do enjoy doing them. However, I've never actually finished the games myself. I have actually finished one. I did finish one of my Fall Backlog Challenge games. I finished it that night on that Thursday. So I did finally beat one game. But for the Winter Backlog Challenge, I got some feedback from the guys, a few of them who were in it, and they said that they wanted essentially to have a SEGA edition backlog challenge this time. So what that's going to entail is, well, let's go over the dates real quick, then we'll go into what exactly you have to do it. So by the time you're watching this, it should be Christmas Eve, December 24th. You're going to have until January 10th to enter the contest, and then the last day to beat all your games is the last day of winter, which is March 20th. Well, it's the first day of spring, so let's call it March 20th. That's the day you need to have all your, if you beat the games or not. So before we get too far into the video, I'm going to try to make this quick and simple. Last time, Steve, you did win, but I got to call you out on this. You're my man, best announcer this side of YouTube, but Star Fox, that was not a shmup. I let it slide because I like you, but for this one, I'm going to keep it simple. It's going to be 5 SEGA games. It has to be either published by SEGA, developed by SEGA, or exclusively on a SEGA system. Now, there are going to be certain stipulations to it. There aren't going to be any racing games, because there's no real story to it. There aren't going to be any fighting games, because only really modern fighters have stories to them. And there aren't going to be any weird, I don't really know how to describe it. You know how SEGA did weird things like Space Channel and Sonic Shuffle. So basically no weird games that don't really have stories to it. Basically it needs to have an actual story for it to count. Now, with that being said, one of the games has to be an RPG, and not just like a willy-nilly baby RPG like Zelda. It needs to be a man's RPG. Grinding, leveling up, an actual deep story that you get involved into. Can't be no Zelda RPG. I'm sorry, Zelda's cool, it's a good game, it's a great series, it's one of the originators of video games, it's one of the greatest series of all time, but it's not an RPG. It's an action game. I guess the newer one leans a little more into RPG territory, but the older ones are not RPGs. But either way, they're not SEGA games. But you get my point. You need to have actual manly RPGs, like examples here: Chrono Triggers, Final Fantasy games. Obviously, those aren't SEGA games, but equivalents. So like Shining Forces, Phantasy Stars, those type of things. Shining Wisdom, Shining the Holy Ark, Albert Odyssey, Panzer Dragoon Saga. The only one who has that in the crew is Hob G's, so I have no idea if he's actually even gotten any further in it or not. But so that's the one stipulation. The other 4 games just need to have some kind of actual story, actual campaign to them, and then one of them has to be a dedicated RPG. So again, no fighting games, no racing games. Needs to have a full-on story for the 4 games, and then one needs to be an actual RPG. I think this is pretty fair. The prize, Alex, what is the prize? You told us it's going to be a good prize, so what is it? Well, we're gonna get to that here in a minute. So let me pause this for a sec. All right, guys. So the 5 games that I ended up picking. Let's go ahead and get this popped off real quick. See what we're working with here. As you all know, I'm a huge fan of the OG Xbox. Kind of ashamed to admit that I haven't beaten these SEGA exclusives to the OG Xbox. So first up is something that I picked up probably 4 years ago, maybe, give or take, maybe 5, being Gun Valkyrie. So this is a game that came from the Dreamcast. Initially it was supposed to be you were going to hold your controller in one hand and have the light gun in the other hand on the Dreamcast. That feature never came to the Xbox, and because of that the controls are kind of clunky on this game, and that's why I never finished it. However, I've heard the story is pretty badass and worth a playthrough if you actually can get through the control scheme. So this is also from one of my favorite second parties of SEGA, Smilebit. They actually made all 3, yeah, I believe they made all 3 of these games that I'm about to pull out. I know they made at least 2 of them. So got Gun Valkyrie for my first game. The second one definitely developed my Smilebit. I've gotten into the first 2 levels and then I just kind of stopped playing it, and it's a real shame because I beat the first 2 to this in this series, but I never actually beat this one. And which is ironic because it's probably one of the best visual looking games on the original Xbox. And I've come back to it many times, but I just always stop playing it for some reason, and I never actually commit to beating it. But that's going to change with the Backlog Challenge, because Panzer Dragoon Orta, coming for that ass. I'm gonna beat you this time. It's gonna happen. I'm really excited to actually play through this. I would say this still stacks up graphically to this day. This is still better than like some indie games that come out nowadays. So I mean, like graphically, but I can't wait to play this, to beat it rather. All right. So the third one. Yep, Smilebit again. So it was all 3 of these. This is a successor to a Dreamcast exclusive, which I have beaten. Haven't beaten the sequel to it. Jet Set Radio Future. So it is an exclusive to the Xbox. This, for any of my collector friends out there, is actually really uncommon to find the actual Jet Set Radio by itself. Typically when you find it, it's split in half with, I want to say it's Star Wars, the Clone Wars, I think. So it's like the dual pack that came with the Xbox. So this is actually uncommon. I'm not going to say rare, but it is uncommon to find the nice holographic standalone case. But Jet Set Radio.
Understand the concept of love.
Yeah, this is DJ Professor K, baby, the master of mayhem, know what I'm saying? Bring you another Tokyo Underground pirate radio broadcast from Jet Set Radio.
Badass game right here. And for those of you who are not aware of this, who are into that series, within this last week or so, a independent guy, not really a developer, kind of just a guy, a fan of the series, go ahead and Google search Jet Set. It's either Jet Set Evolution or Jet Set Radio Evolution. It is a sequel to this, fan-made, to that one, so it'll be the third game in the series. He approached Sega about it, basically told them he would make it for free for them as long as they were okay with it, and they shut him down. So, could that mean, just like Nintendo shut down that Metroid ASMR 2 or whatever it's called, and then they released Metroid Samus Returns, does that mean Sega's finally going to give us back another Jet Set Radio? We'll find out in the near future. Alright, so if you watched my favorite games of 2017 / just kind of games that I really enjoyed, you'll know that I believe this was the first game that I talked about, Yakuza 0. I got about 2 hours into this. This takes about 40 or 50 hours to beat, so I didn't get anywhere near too close to beating it. But what I played, I enjoyed. The only thing that I don't necessarily like is the fact that it's all in Japanese and it's a lot of reading. But the story to it is very good. I know that. Just from all the reviews and the hype around this series, people are loving it. I actually pre-ordered Yakuza 6, so I'm pretty excited to play through this as well. Now, for my RPG, it was a tiebreaker between all the games. I couldn't pick between Skies of Arcadia and Shining Force 3. I figured since this game is so goddamn expensive, I went out of my way to watch eBay every day to find a bidding that I was comfortable paying for, and I ended up paying a fair bit. I'd say just about half of market value for this. So obviously, being said, I need to actually beat this game and not just sit on it, and that's why I created the the backlog challenge in general. I mean, there's other channels that do it, but amongst our group of guys, I'm the one who decided this was the thing that we should do, because I personally think it's stupid to buy all these games and then just sit on them and never play them. I do it too, but I am trying to proactively actually beat my games. So hopefully this time around you guys will join me on playing some of your backlog, and being the Sega Edition backlog challenge. Hopefully you guys can get behind this. So it's going to be 4 normal run-of-the-mill Sega games. Doesn't have to be anything particular, but not fighting games, not racing games, and not weird games like Sonic Shuffle. No party type games. Essentially, it needs to have a story and one dedicated RPG. Shining the Holy Ark, Shining Force 3, Shining Force 2, Phantasy Star 1, 2, 3, 4. Any RPG. But it has to be an actual RPG with leveling up and a battle system of some sort. An actual RPG. No Zelda crap. Yeah, so this is going to be the Winter Backlog Challenge. Alex, you went this whole video and teased the prize a teeny bit, but you never actually told us what it was. So, essentially what it is it's a prize that you are not going to want to miss. It's so good, and it's something that every collector has a wet dream over. It's a one-off. It's a custom from my main man, my favorite modder, the guy who developed my GameCube, my HDMI GameCube. Video for that is still coming soon. However, I'm collabing with him to make that video. So in the meantime, he actually donated the prize to the Winter Backlog Challenge. It hasn't arrived yet, but I do have pictures of it, and he did send a small clip that I'm going to insert right here.
Alright everybody, got a nice prize that I would like to donate to the Winter Backlog Challenge. So for the donation, this is a Japanese Sega Saturn. It is a Model 1 Sega Saturn. It's an HS2 3210, which means it has the version 2.0 guts inside of it. This console has been cleaned inside and out. It's a wonderful looking gray console, which obviously didn't come out in the United States. Some additional features that I've done to this particular console is I've made it region free, and I've installed a mod chip. So just wanted to give everyone a quick little example of what you can expect here. Here's a NTSC game. So this is a Japanese game. This console will play games from US, Japan, and PAL. Brand new laser, and it's fantastic. It makes these games launch almost immediately. It's really, really nice. First, let's put it in the system and launch it. might see a little flicker on the screen too. It's basically the refresh rate between the camera and the TV being out of sync. Alright, so like I said, guys, that's the prize for this backlog challenge donated by...
As you can see, that is a region-free Sega Saturn with a brand new laser in it. You can play burnt discs on it, and then being that it's region-free, you can play European games, Japanese games, and American games all on the console. I am actually getting a custom one that he built for me specifically in the mail at the exact same time, so I'm going to go further in depth into that console once it actually arrives. Mine will be coming. Mine is a very special custom edition, and I cannot wait to get it. Yours, if you win, is still badass, but it's not going to be as badass. However, for anybody who doesn't want to do the contest but still wants to obtain one of these Saturns, you're going to have to stay subscribed and look forward to the Sega Saturn videos that I'm going to be having coming in the future from my main man Paul. So with that being said, hopefully all these rules made sense. It's December 24th is the first day you can get your video out. Jiggly and Steve actually already have a heads up on you and Pillar of Conflict, because they were all in the live stream and they all knew this was coming, and I've texted them all about it. So they all very well probably have picked their games and just waiting for this actual announcement. So December 24th is the first day that you can get a video out. It could be under a minute long if you don't want to make a long ass video like I do. That's totally fine. But you need to have your video out by the 24th before January 10th. If you get it out on the 26th, you can go ahead and start playing your games. That's totally fine. You just need to beat them by the 20th, March 20th. That's basically 3 months. That's a lot of time to beat 5 games. However, I never beat them. I've only ever beaten one out of the summer and fall backlog challenge, because I always get consumed with other things. So before January 10th, I'm not going to even probably start till January 10th. I need to beat Xenoblade Chronicles 2 before I play anything else. I'm done. The whole backlog thing, that's for another video. But I can't wait to delve into these delectable titles here. I really can't. I think it's about time that I finally beat some of these awesome games that I possess in my collection. And none, I mean, aside from this one, this is obviously pretty pricey, but these can all be had for under 20 bucks. Hell, these Xbox games, if you're lucky, you can find them all for under 15 bucks a pop. So, but yeah, December 24th, January 10th to the March 20th, to March 20th. That's when you have to beat your games. You need to be 5 games. You need to make a video. You're going to go ahead and steal the thumbnail off this video and put it onto your video. And you know how I'm going to know if you're not following the rules? It's because you're not watching the entire video and you're just skimming through it so you can get to that prize, you scheming little bastard. You need to steal the thumbnail off my picture. If you don't know how to do that, you probably shouldn't be making YouTube videos. So go ahead and steal that thumbnail right now off this video. That's going to be your thumbnail. Okay? Then, you need to have your 5 games. Go ahead and put them in your description. I am going to watch your video. I do watch everybody's videos whether I leave a comment or not. I always leave a like and watch everybody's videos at some point within a week of it being posted. But yeah, so go ahead and steal the thumbnail, put your 5 games in the description just so that other people can come in and look if they're in the contest. And I don't really know how long this video is going on. 10 minutes? Not terrible. We'll keep talking for a few more minutes. But yeah, so basically you need to beat these games in a set amount of time, and the prize, I mean, you can't beat that prize. If you're a Sega fan, if you're a Sega Saturn fan, it basically, there's no basically, it opens up the entire library to you. And as an added bonus, I'm going to go ahead and burn 10 games of your choice for you, for your Sega Saturn. Well, let's be fair here. If you want Panzer Dragoon Saga, which you're probably going to want to, that'll count up for 4 of your games, because that's 4 discs. But essentially 10 discs is what I'll burn for you personally. He's donating the system. It's just the system, so I have to buy the cables for it and the controller. And, well, unless you have that. But if you don't have that, I will buy that as well. And then I'll burn you 10 discs. Whether you want 10 individual games, or Panzer Dragoon takes up 4, and vice versa, whatever. So that's something that I'm going to be contributing to the contest. Now, for the event that 2 people, just like Jiggly and Steve, get very close to the end and both finish in time, I could see that Jiggly was upset by losing. And he put in a lot of work. He beat all of his games well over a month ago. So like, I honestly had texted him a while ago and I was just like, dude, it's pretty obvious you're going to win. What prize do you want? So this time I am going to have a second place prize. It will either go up in value depending on how many people join, or it will go down in value depending on how many people join. It might be something super badass. It might be something super lame. It really just depends on how many people join this time. And I mean, either way, it'll be something cool that you're going to want. But, you know, if 30 people join, then yeah, I'm going to make it something badass. If it's, you know, 3 to 6 people again, probably just going to be a game. But with that being said, the donation is super badass. I cannot wait to... I should have both of those in the next week or so, my console and the one that was donated that I will be giving away for Paul. So there's a little bit of rambling in here, but hopefully all this made sense. I look forward to seeing all your guys' entries, and as always, no game sharks, no action replays. And how do you actually prove that you beat these games? Specifically, I know I'm not going to call anybody out, but quite a few of you don't have Elgatos and other capturing devices. That's cool. It's not a big deal. You do have a smartphone. You need to record at the very least if it's on a current gen system. You know, if it's something on like a PS3 or a 360, Xbox One, PS4, PS Vita, something that has achievements or trophies, you take a picture of the trophy. Steve did that to 2 of his games during the fall backlog, and I'm totally cool with that because it tells me the exact date that you beat it. It tells you to the exact time that you beat it, so I'm totally cool with that because that's actual physical proof. And then, or if you have an Elgato or a Hauppauge or an HD PVR or whatever, Black Magic Intensity, you record the boss fight, you upload it to YouTube. Save it though. You need to have all these by the 20th because that's how you qualify at the end. Now, so with that being said, you need to have some kind of proof of you beating all the bosses, or however your game ends, whether it just ends on a terrible cutscene or if it's an actual boss or whatever. However it ends, you need to have proof of it at the end. But with all that being said, those are my 5 picks. Let me know. Leave a comment if you're planning on doing it. Well, actually, leave me a comment if you're actually going to do it. Message me if you have any questions about it. Leave a comment if you have any questions about it. It's really not too difficult. I feel like I've made these rules pretty simple. In the past, I've had people complain, oh, I don't like shooters. I can't do this backlog challenge because I don't like shooters. So now the requirement is an RPG. Okay, so if you don't like RPGs, then sorry, you're just going to have to wait until the inevitable spring or summer backlog challenge where I make it Nintendo Edition or I make it EA Edition. I don't know, whatever it will be. But with that being said, thank you, Paul, for donating that prize to us. I appreciate that, my man. I cannot wait to see these Saturns. They look crispy as fuck. The second place prize is potentially something really awesome. I already have an idea of what it is right there. But again, it depends on how many people join in on the contest. Alright, so I did neglect in the video to mention that what's going to make this backlog challenge more special and more fun. If I win, I actually get to keep the Sega Saturn. He's donating it to whomever. He's just giving it to me. And I'm basically donating it to the backlog challenge. So if I win, he gave me permission to flip it, which I will probably do if I win. So, you guys actually need to try pretty hard this time, because now that there's a prize in there for me, I'm competing hard this time. I'm winning that because I could use that 150 bucks to buy some actual games for the collection. So, with that being said, guys, this is going to do it for the video. And and let's get this winter backlog challenge started right. I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope you guys pick some fun games, and I hope you guys don't disqualify yourselves by picking things that don't work for the challenge. If you're in doubt of a game that you want to pick, comment down below, message me, or leave it in the video. Does this one count? I'll watch it and I will comment, or I'll just comment or message you back. So that's gonna do it for the video today, guys. If I don't make a video on Christmas Day, have a Merry Christmas. If you're watching this after that, have a Happy New Year, depending on when you're watching it. I mean that. Thank you for all the support throughout the year, guys. I've had a lot of fun with this channel, and I can't wait to see where the channel goes in the future, whether it's more backlog stuff or reviews finally, or just other sorts of things that I have planned. To put it lightly, me and my modder have been cooking up a lot of great videos. They're going to be coming out probably January, so stay tuned for those, guys. As always, peace out for now. Till next time.
Come here, you mother.